Hello everybody, welcome back. Today, we're diving deep. I mean, really, really deep. Something has been bothering me, something that might change everything we thought we knew. We're going back to 5 nights at Darlplier's. Not just any night. Night 3. This is where things started to get weird. Not just an animatronic moving weird, something is fundamentally broken. The entire game shifts on this night. I think I've started to piece together why. This isn't just about jump scares anymore, it's about the story, the lore, and a mystery that might connect to something much, much bigger. We're going to break it down, piece by piece. I see a loose thread, and I have to pull it. Let's do this. So, let's set the stage. Night 1, Night 2. We learned the basic mechanics. The night begins, the phone call ends, and the clock ticks over to 12 a.m. The first thing we do naturally is flip up the monitor to check the show stage. And there he is, the Darlplier animatronic, standing center stage, bathed in that eerie, low-wattage spotlight. But something is immediately off. It's flickering more erratically, casting longer, more distorted shadows that dance and writhe across the checkered floor. It makes the whole room feel unstable, like the power grid is fighting to stay alive. The animatronic's eyes, usually just vacant and dark, seem to have a faint, almost imperceptible red glow that wasn't there before. Looking closer at the camera feed, you start to notice the details of the security system itself. The overlay on the screen, the part that shows the camera name and the time, is glitching. Little digital artifacts like scrambled pixels flicker at the edges of the text. On nights 1 and 2, the feed was clean, stable. But on night 3, it feels corrupted, like we're watching a damaged tape. This suggests that the problem isn't just with the lights in the building, it's with the surveillance system itself. It's as if something is actively interfering with the signal, trying to obscure what we're seeing. This isn't just wear and tear. This feels intentional, a deliberate act of digital sabotage from within the system. And then there's the animatronic itself. It's not just standing there, its head is tilted at a slightly different angle, a few degrees to the left. 1 hour into the shift, at exactly 1 a.m., we switch the camera feed over to Pirate Cove. And this is where the real mystery begins. Static-filled camera view of Pirate Cove, star-patterned curtains barely visible through visual noise. Small, unassuming stage, deep purple curtains. Close-up on cartoonish 5-pointed yellow stars. Sign reading, Darlplier's Pirate Cove in a swashbuckling font. Out of order. Curtains drawn shut, an enigma we've been taught to ignore. But on night 3, something is different. For a split second, a literal split second, the camera feed seems to work perfectly. Feed curtains, feed sign, feed, stage, everything looks normal. Then, it all goes wrong. The instant the feed stabilizes, the power in the entire building dies. Not a flicker. A full-blown catastrophic failure. Monitor goes black. Office lights shut off, plunged into absolute darkness and silence. On screen, just before blackout, red, blocky text. Signal interrupted. Not a power warning. A connection error. The camera didn't lose power, something cut the signal. Power surges back a few seconds later. The Pirate Cove feed is different. A mess of static, a rolling bar of visual noise. Then the terrifying detail. Top right clock should read 1:01 a.m., now reads 2:01 a.m. An entire hour has vanished. Gone. So, this is where we really start piecing together the theory. We've got a mysterious pizzeria, an animatronic with a name that rings a bell. And now, a Pirate Cove with a very specific design. Those star-patterned curtains. Where have we seen those before? That's right. In the original 5 Nights at Freddy's, Foxy's Pirate Cove had the same purple curtains with 5-pointed yellow stars. This can't be a coincidence. It's too specific, too deliberate. This isn't a small homage, it feels like a direct link. Darlplier's isn't just a knockoff, it's connected to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. So what could that connection be? One possibility, Darlplier's was a sister location to Freddy's. Maybe a failed franchise Fazbear tried to erase. Maybe they used the same suppliers. Maybe the same interior designers. Maybe it was an early prototype location. A place they tested new animatronics, or security systems before rolling them out. That explains the familiar layout and the glitchy systems. Shared DNA, a forgotten branch of the Fazbear family tree. Another possibility, Darlplier's is a successor. Now let's talk, the biggest elephant in the room, that missing hour. The clock jumps from 1 o'clock to 2:01, in the blink of an eye. This happens right after a power surge, and a camera failure at Pirate Cove. What does that even mean? On the surface, you could call it a simple system malfunction. The power surge fried the internal clock so it skips ahead. That's a plausible, rational explanation. But this is 5 Nights at Freddy's. Since when is anything ever that simple? The missing hour feels way too significant to just be a tech glitch. It really feels supernatural. Consider a more sinister theory. Maybe the blackout wasn't just a power outage, it was a temporal event. Something behind the Pirate Cove curtain doesn't just mess with electrical signals. It actually messes with the flow of time, or at least our perception of it. When we looked at that camera, we might have triggered a phenomenon. The night guard could have lost an entire hour of consciousness, out cold, totally vulnerable for 60 minutes. When you put all these pieces together, the identical curtains, the shared Pirate Cove theme, the suspicious power drain, and the impossible missing hour, a pretty clear picture begins to emerge. Five Nights at Darlplier's is not just some standalone story, it's deeply, fundamentally woven into the larger Five Nights at Freddy's universe. The events of Night 3 are really the key that unlocks this connection. They confirm that the cycle of tragedy didn't end when Freddy's finally closed. It's like a virus, or a curse, infecting new animatronics and trapping new souls. This game really reinforces one of the core themes, corporate secrets, and the ghosts they leave behind. Fazbear Entertainment was notorious for covering up its messes, for sweeping tragedies under the rug, and for putting profits over people. The idea that they had a secret sister location that they just abandoned, or that their old haunted assets were sold off to some unsuspecting buyer. Darlplier's Pizzeria is just another one of those messes. It tells us that no matter how many pizzerias close down, the nightmare is never truly over. It just finds a new home.